Trump's ceasefire gamble, how Putin played the game and what comes next. The bold move that was supposed to end the war, Donald Trump thought he had it locked down, a ceasefire in Ukraine, both sides nodding yes, no more missiles, no more bloodshed, just a deal that could have changed everything. But then, Putin pulled the rug. Not only did Russia ignore the ceasefire, it ramped up the attacks. Now, Trump's cabinet is in full-blown panic mode, the plans unraveling, the pressures mounting, and no one saw this betrayal coming this fast. So what went wrong? Did Putin play Trump from the start? Is there still a way to salvage the deal, or is the war about to explode again? Let's break down the backstabbing, the fallout, and what Trump and NATO can actually do now. Even before taking office, Trump made bold claims about his ability to solve the war diplomatically, citing his past relationship with Putin as a bargaining tool. One of his most famous pronouncements was that he could end the war in a single day. Once in office, he set out to do just that. But the approach was radically different from that of his predecessor, Joe Biden. The Biden administration had fully backed Ukraine's fight, supporting its NATO aspirations and its efforts to reclaim lost territory, including Crimea. Trump's approach was more pragmatic, some might say transactional. His administration prioritized ending the war as soon as possible, even if that meant making significant concessions to Russia. He believed that by leveraging economic incentives and offering diplomatic reassurances, he could bring Putin to the table. Yet despite his confidence, the negotiations took a turn no one expected. By early February, Trump's administration had laid the groundwork for what they hoped would be a breakthrough. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth publicly stated that restoring Ukraine's pre-2014 borders was unrealistic, signaling a shift in U.S. policy. Soon after, high-level U.S. and Russian delegations met in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The talks revolved around security guarantees for Ukraine, economic incentives for Russia, and a temporary halt to hostilities. But there was a catch. Ukraine wasn't present at the table. The exclusion of President Volodymyr Zelensky only fueled mistrust between Kyiv and Washington. Despite the tensions, Ukraine ultimately agreed to a US-proposed 30-day ceasefire. The agreement included a partial resumption of US military aid and a promise of further diplomatic discussions. Putin, in a calculated move, also agreed to a limited ceasefire, specifically halting attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure. But within hours of the agreement taking effect, Russian forces launched new offensives, and the entire deal collapsed overnight. Why did Russia break the ceasefire? From a purely strategic perspective, Russia's decision to resume hostilities might seem counterproductive. A ceasefire, even a temporary one, could have provided an opportunity for both sides to regroup and reassess. However, for Putin, it was never about taking a pause, it was about control. By violating the ceasefire almost immediately, Putin sent a message. Russia would not be dictated to by the United States or any Western powers. Breaking the agreement allowed Russia to maintain momentum on the battlefield while simultaneously undermining Trump's credibility as a negotiator. Moreover, the sabotage of Russia's own Sudzha pipeline, an attack Moscow blamed on Ukraine, gave Putin a convenient excuse to justify his actions. The ceasefire had never truly been a commitment on Russia's part. It was a temporary tool for strategic advantage. Trump's reputation as a dealmaker has taken a serious hit. His confidence in his personal relationship with Putin may have been misplaced, and his administration's diplomatic strategy now looks ineffective. His cabinet, already under immense pressure, is struggling to find a way forward without appearing weak on the global stage. Then there's Elon Musk. As head of the Department of Government Efficiency, Musk has taken an increasingly active role in foreign policy. His company, SpaceX, provided critical satellite communications for Ukraine early in the war. But in recent months, Musk has scaled back Starlink access in combat zones, aligning with Trump's shifting stance on military aid. His controversial social media presence has only added to the administration's headaches, as his posts have amplified anti-Zelensky narratives and fueled speculation about his influence on policy. With the ceasefire dead, Trump faces a series of difficult choices. Does he double down on pressuring Ukraine to accept concessions, risking backlash from both Kyiv and NATO allies? Does he take a harder stance against Russia, potentially reigniting Cold War-era tensions, or does he attempt to salvage what's left of his diplomatic credibility and push for a new round of talks? For now, there are no easy answers. The promise of a quick resolution to the war has proven to be an illusion, and Trump is left grappling with the reality that Putin is not a partner in peace, but a master manipulator in war. The world watches as the conflict rages on, and the question remains, what will Trump's next move be?